What's going on, guys? What's going on, Thai Squad? What's going on, everybody? So, will the Browns re-sign Jameis? Will the Browns re-sign Jameis? I want to say, I want to say yes. His comments after the losing to the Broncos, saying he's praying to God for to not throw those interceptions, to not throw pick sixes. And I'm going to say this: I agree with Jameis's I agree with what Jameis said. Is that what Jameis is doing every single game is what I like. Is what I like hearing what he says. What Jameis is saying, he's spreading the gospel. He's spreading the gospel, and like I believe in God. I believe in God, and we we should not be afraid to share the gospel of God. Let me just get that out straight. We should not be afraid to share the gospel of God. Um, we should not. The way that Jameis is playing right now, he wants to stay with the Browns. And like we seen Joe Flacco last year come off the couch in free agency and lead the Browns and lead us to a playoffs last year when Deshaun Watson went down. And when Deshaun Watson went down again this year, I wasn't happy how some Browns fans cheered for him when he went down. And that's just not right to me because you never want to see somebody go down with an injury or go down with any kind of injury at all. And I'm just going to say this. With all that, with Jameis, like learning from Drew Brees and Sean Payton, like his comments again, I'm glad what Jameis is doing because he's sharing the gospel and he's speaking out when he wants to speak out after games. And I think you can get a quarterback in the draft if you wanted to. Like you could get a quarterback in the draft if you wanted to. But when we look at what Jameis has done, he beat the Steelers. He beat the Steelers. He beat the Baltimore Ravens. Um, he lost to the Saints. Like when we like he threw over 200 yards against the Boston. He threw 200 yards against the Ravens at home. At home, he beat the Steelers. The Browns beat the Steelers. Like the Browns this season aren't going to make the playoffs. I get that, and I'm being realistic, but it seems like we're going to get a first round pick this year. We're going to get either a first round pick this year, but I would honestly say right here, right now, is what Jameis is doing. Like in the snow game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, he scored a touchdown. He threw over 200 and something yards. He's doing everything he can do. And I'll give Jameis a lot of credit because what Brissett was out. We seen what Joe Flacco did when Deshaun Watson went down with his injury last year. We seen what how those two players' careers turn out, and now where they are in their careers with like Joe Flacco on the Colts and with Brissett on the Washington Commanders. We seen now we're seeing that with Jameis, and we're seeing that and now we're seeing that with Jameis. Everything he's doing, like the Browns team, like he's on the same page with the entire locker room. The Browns like him. He wants to stay a Brown. I would say the Browns should keep Jameis. The Browns should keep Jameis. Even though the Browns need to keep Jameis because of two reasons. You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose that type of player that type of player that will give you its all. And you need a backup quarterback. Yes, you can find a quarterback in the draft like a Shedeur Sanders, like a Quinn, those kind of guys in the draft. Like you could find a quarterback like that. But with Jameis, I'm just going to say this. I hope the Browns resign him, and I hope the Browns resign him, because if you don't resign Jameis, you're back to the drawing board. Because here is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to get the elephant out of the room. It's that the Browns wouldn't find another backup quarterback like a Jameis, or like a Joe Flacco, or like a Brissett. The Browns will never, or like a Bailey Zappi who hasn't played yet, who hasn't got snaps at the quarterback position yet, that we've seen on the Browns. But we haven't seen that. We haven't seen a type of player like Jameis come in and lead the Browns locker room. And even though the Browns are 3-9 right now, doesn't mean that going against the Steelers, that's a division game, and a division game that you have to win. You have to give credit where credit is due, because Jameis might surprise everybody again against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then still surprise a lot of people. Because he wants to be in Cleveland. He wants to be a Brown. He wants to be with the Browns. And the Browns, if I'm the Browns, I'm just saying hypothetically, if I'm the Browns, I would give Jameis a contract right now, re-sign him, so he doesn't have to go into free agency and go and get signed by a different team. That is what I would do if I was the Browns. But we will just have to see what the Browns do. But guys, sub if you're new, and never give up your dreams. And I hope all of you guys are safe out there. And stay blessed, everybody. And peace.